His dream job is to be an editor, but after 3 years, he's still an assistant, confusing his dad about Jack's ambitions. They bickered like two old crows, and in the end, Jack unleashed his bottled-up frustrations on that long-forgotten boat. Mom just happened to witness the whole drama and quickly figured out something was up, so she waltzed over to her husband to intervene. Feeling awkward, Annie sought an excuse to leave, but amid Jack's parents' argument, she learned Jack hadn't been back to New York for 3 years. He delayed returning to start his own life, seeking freedom, not forced into the family business. If not for this fake marriage, he might never return home. That night, Annie took the initiative to share her story with Jack. She lost her parents long ago and had to leave her hometown, thriving in her career but still unable to fill the void in her heart. Happy moments were solitary, no shoulder for tears. She avoided her parents' funeral, so no flowers in the house. Whenever someone called her the Ice Queen, she'd hide away for a good cry. But after the tears, she had to put on a brave face and hide her soul. She put on her icy armor, continuing as a successful career woman. Meanwhile, Jack remained silent, thinking he should have known Anne well after 3 years as her assistant. Little did he know the seemingly invincible Annie actually had such a vulnerable side. As Jack's goofy and joyful singing filled the air, two hearts that would never have come close together began to embrace warmly and slowly, guided and swayed by the winding notes. The next morning, an early rising Annie, perhaps influenced by love's spark, started paying attention to her appearance. However, at that moment, Mom's voice came from outside. In a panic, Annie woke the sleeping Jack to avoid exposure. She continued to play the lovey-dovey role, relieved that their slightly awkward antics didn't raise any suspicion from Mom. Shortly after, Jack's dad and Grandma strolled into the room. Tomorrow was a rare happy occasion to hold a wedding for the... This upset their plans. The license was the real purpose, not the wedding. However, Grandma insisted she wanted to see her grandson married before she kicked the bucket, so to not disappoint her. The two barely agreed to advance the wedding. After the family left, Jack pondered, worrying about the truth being revealed. Grandma might not handle it well, while Annie remained calm, planning to first fulfill Grandma's wish, then head back to New York. While she claimed she'd never be in it for the long haul, she didn't realize since last night's heart-to-heart she had started to care about Jack, and she didn't mind physical contact. As the wedding neared, their separation accelerated. Jack took Annie to town for her phone when Annie was distracted. Seeing Jack chatting intimately with his ex, he doubted, but all she could do was remind herself. This charade served mutual benefit. Sadly, it was self-deception, but Grandma's affection soon filled her conflict. She donned the dress Grandma had made in her youth. It was a tad loose, but Grandma adjusted it with adoration. Grandma fetched the heirloom necklace and put it on Annie. The mirror reflection filled Annie with long-lost warmth. Yet it filled her with guilt. She thought her lies would hurt Grandma, so she considered rejecting it, but staring into Grandma's hopeful eyes. She ultimately swallowed her unspoken words. However, her guilt and crumbling emotions nearly suffocated her. She dashed to the dock, and before Jack could even react, she fired up the speedboat and sped into the deep blue. Suddenly enveloped by love and care, her guilt felt like a weight dragging her down. She couldn't let her deceit rob this loving family of their sincerity. All Jack could do was comfort. The fake deal hurt the family more than foreseen. Suddenly, a boy appeared ahead. Jack sharply swerved, sending Annie flying off. Luckily, he noticed in time to save her. The concern that sparked unexpected feelings was intensified with their tight embrace, but when they returned to the estate, they found Jack's dad already anxiously waiting. The immigration investigator had followed them, trying to pressure her into revealing the truth. Jack made an identical choice. They shared genuine emotions, not merely pretending, and he had genuinely fallen in love with Annie. Plus, he solemnly warned them that the wedding would go on as planned, even if they felt no sympathy for their situation. But they each tossed and turned all night, thinking about what had happened during the day. After a night full of turmoil and conflict, Annie decided to call off the Alaska morning awoke in anticipation. Annie appeared with a bouquet, watched by family and friends, and Grandma affectionately took her hand. They slowly made their way toward happiness, but during the vow exchange, Annie interrupted the ceremony, not wanting to cloak the loyal marriage in deceit. She decided to come clean, resulting in jaws dropping all around. Annie walked away, Burdened by guilt yet relieved, her friends and family exchanged bewildered looks while the investigator couldn't help but Jack was confused, lost in love, ready to make the fake real, but Annie left. She left a letter for Jack, who realized what he really wanted wasn't the coveted company but something more profound. The only real connection itched deep in his heart. To discover the truth of their feelings, Jack resolved to head back to the dock to chase after Annie, but he was blocked by his dad, and just then Grandma fell ill. They had to rush her to the hospital. Little did they know, Grandma just wanted to use the opportunity to send Jack to the airport, but unfortunately he was too late and his plane had taken off. After the turmoil, seeing Jack's anxiety for love, Dad finally understood and apologized, no longer blocking his dreams. He even encouraged Jack to find true love. Yet when Jack got back to work, he stumbled upon Annie packing up her things, ready to leave. He transformed from the former assistant to a man ready to confess his feelings, and it wasn't just Jack. Annie had also given her heart in this fake relationship, but her gentle heart continuously urged her to pretend to be strong, too scared to be honest or admit it.